Well, LeBron James went back to Cleveland to just take all the headlines All-Star weekend. We've already talked about Bronny and LeBron's desire to play with his son his last year in the NBA. There was another thing that came out of All-Star weekend 2022 in relation to LeBron James. It was him not closing the door on another return. It'd be his third stint, second return to Cleveland as a Cavalier. Specifically, LeBron James, when asked about, one last ride with Cleveland, he said that door is not closed on that. I'm not saying I'm coming back and playing. I don't know. I don't know what my future holds. I don't even know when I'm free. So to answer your question, LeBron James theoretically could be a free agent following next year if he wanted to be. So that's the answer to that question for you, LeBron. And I know you know your contract, by the way. Get out of here. You're one of the smartest business athletes we've ever seen ever. You know when you're free. So LeBron, theoretically, in year 21, could be a free agent and go to Cleveland. I'm looking at that Cavaliers roster. They've been really good this season. Darius Garland, really good young prospect. Jared Allen is somebody that the Cavaliers, they love him. You got them and Evan Mobley, who's been everything we expected him to be and more as a rookie. Seems to be a difference maker on both ends of the court every time he's on the court. So that is your nucleus. I'm assuming that the Cavaliers, who I believe Colin Sexton's, who's out for the season, I believe he's a restricted free agent. I don't think the Cavs are going to re-sign him. I don't think you need to do that. You don't need him. It seems like this team is kind of set without him. So with the Cavs want to do a swap with the Lakers, we'll see what happens with Russell Westbrook and his Lakers team this offseason. I'm just throwing a scenario out there. Would the Lakers want to do a LeBron for Colin Sexton swap? Would the Cavs want to take on the money of a LeBron James contract for 1 year? Like, would the Lakers trade LeBron? I don't know. He's kind of putting it out in the atmosphere that, I might want to go somewhere else. We got two different scenarios in one weekend. He said, number one, I don't know what the future holds. I'm not closing the door on the Cleveland Cavaliers return. And he let it be known that no matter what team he wants to play his last one with his boy. Neither one of those, as a Laker fan, neither one of those sounds so promising to me. I think I've grown comfortable knowing that in LeBron James' ideal world, his last year would be in Cleveland as a Cavalier with Bronny. I think if LeBron could just, if the story, the end of this movie could go the way LeBron wanted it to as a producer, I think he ends his career one last go around with a pretty good Cleveland Cavalier team that probably will not be able to get past Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks in the East, Joel and Philly in the East, or Kevin Durant in the Brooklyn Nets, which means you might not get out of the first round. So I think LeBron believes he could bring one more championship to Cleveland, get to 5, be the all-time leader in scoring, top 3, top 4 assists, top 10 rebounds, and I think he would love his conversation as the GOAT if his career ends with him playing with his boy. If that is the end-all, be-all, look, if you believe LeBron is the GOAT, who am I to argue with you if that is his lineup? If his last year is played with his boy, that's like, so one of the things for me when I look at the GOAT is just things that just are unreal, right? LeBron playing with his son in the NBA, there are so many different variables that go into that. You got to have a kid young, first off. You got to be good enough to stay around. That would be a very strong GOAT come. That's like Michael Jordan going and playing baseball to me. That's similar to that. That's just GOAT-like, right? Like, that's just only a GOAT could pull that off. So, all that being said, there is another piece to this convo that is real for the first time. LeBron doesn't have the impact of a player that he used to have. If I'm a Cleveland Cavalier, specifically the owner, Dan Gilbert, who we know him and LeBron don't have a great relationship. We know LeBron went back to Cleveland in spite of Dan Gilbert. He's admitted that. We know when LeBron left Cleveland to go to take his talent to Miami first time around, we know Dan Gilbert wrote an open letter that was very disrespectful and distasteful to LeBron. LeBron has admitted that his mother, Gloria James, didn't want him to go back. But LeBron looked around to his right. He saw an aging Dwayne Wade, who couldn't stay healthy, and Chris Bosh. And he looked to the left and saw Kyrie Irving, young, talented, and the possibilities of a Kevin Love. And he bounced. I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit. And went back to Cleveland in spite of Dan Gilbert. You know, this would be the first time that Dan Gilbert would have a lot of that leverage back. Dan couldn't in good conscience say no to LeBron James then. But if the Cavaliers are rising, if they're still rising, Garland is already an all-star. Jared Allen, already an all-star. Evan Mobley maybe becomes an all-star in the next couple years. And I do believe that that's a good chance that happens, especially out east. For the first time, there will be a real conversation. I'm not saying that they wouldn't bring LeBron in because he's still great, jersey sales, and loved in Cleveland. It would be a real convo of, do I bring LeBron in to turn this to the LeBron show, make this season about him and his boy when we're growing and becoming better? Like, no, maybe we tell LeBron, no, it's not always about you. You can't always just kind of attach yourself to every, for one time, for the first time in the next couple of years, it could potentially be, nah, LeBron. You know, for the first time in over 25 years, LeBron won't have the ultimate leverage if the Cavaliers continue to climb like they are this season. Very interesting one. Very interesting. Only time will tell on that one as well. But as a Laker fan, I think I've already kind of come to the conclusion LeBron ain't finishing his career with us. And who cares? You know, I have accepted LeBron, but, you know, when LeBron decided to come to L.A. and be a Laker, I thought he'd finish his career with us, but we kind of knew what this was. We needed LeBron. We needed LeBron. The Lakers were a mess with Magic and Lonzo Ball. We were a mess. We needed him, and he kind of really needed us. He definitely really wanted us, a little needed us at the time. So we know, look, I'm a diehard Kobe guy. Kobe and LeBron fans, we didn't get along. We didn't like each other coming up. So we just kind of put bygones to the side. We kind of needed each other. And then after God rest his dead, Kobe passed, it was really like, all right, man, I'm glad we got each other now. That's kind of how it was. But we knew, like, you know, LeBron fans, the day that LeBron stops playing for the Lakers, they'll act like it never happened. They don't even care about that bubble championship. You know, that's kind of where we're at. So I kind of always, I thought LeBron would finish his career as a Laker, but I'm not surprised that he potentially will leave us and go back to maybe Cleveland. I'm not.